technical communication. Importance of technical communication, this we had done, right? Now, this topic, technical communication skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, that will take up later on because it's damn boring topic. We'll take it later on. So first we'll be talking about style and technical communication. Style. We'll be taking up this topic. Style and technical communication. What do you mean by style, or how you should write a technical text? Right? So, see, there are certain basic characteristic features which you should follow while writing any technical text. Right? First thing is that you should be careful about the conciseness. Your document should be concise. Now, what is the meaning of this conciseness? See, it means that sentences should be clear, simple language should be there so that the readers are able to interpret at least one concept per sentence, right? It's not that you have made the sentence too complex and you are trying to convey more than one message through a single sentence, or you can say a paragraph, right? So one idea should be conveyed through a single sentence, or you can say a paragraph. So try to make the sentences simple, not complex. Don't write complex sentences. Write simple sentences so that it's easier for you to understand. That means there should not be any confusion at all in the message. It should be conveyed in simple language, short and direct. Means the meaning should be quite explicit. It should be quite apparent. It should not be hidden. Hidden meaning nahi hona chahiye, latent, hidden or implied. No. It's not necessary that the readers are able to understand the implied meaning. ठीक है, तो मीनिंग शुड बी वेरी मच एक्सप्लिसिट, बहुत साफ होना चाहिए, ये इसका ये मैसेज है और ये इसका मीनिंग है. Care should be taken to avoid fillers. Fillers that clutter up your writing and fail to provide useful information. Right? So try not to use the fillers because that will make the writing messy. Right? And that will, the readers will get confused that which one is the relevant information and which information is not important at all. Right? So avoid the use of fillers. Now, what are these fillers? See, here are some examples of fillers which are needed to be avoided. See, these are the fillers. Avoid basically, words like basically, to a certain extent, kind of, sort of, stuff, stuff, things, something, about, plus, or number, right? So you should avoid using these sentences. It's sort of a कुछ भी आप नाम आगे लिख देंगे कोई भी वो stuff, something, it's something like this. Basically, I mean to say, or to a certain extent, I agree to it. Or to a certain extent, it is practical to carry out this research. Means words like this. These are known as fillers. Right? Then there are okay. Then there are redundancies. Redundancies means words which you repeat, which you often repeat, right? Which can be avoided, certain words which can be avoided. For example, these are the redundancies, means you can say repetition. Redundancies means repetition of words. For example, we say each and every student, each and every student. Each means every. Each का मतलब क्या होता है? Every. Each का मतलब भी तो वही है ना. So there is no need to write every. So here we are repeating the same word, right? So in fact, every is a synonym of each, although grammatically there is a little bit of difference between each and every. है थोड़ा सा grammatically difference, but then explicitly both have the same meaning. दोनों का meaning same है. ठीक है? So there is no need to write confused. So avoid writing these redundant words. Then present time, in the present time, and we have the habit of writing this. Present means time. We are talking about the present time. At present, you can say, at present, we are having this thing, or we are following this method, whatever you want to write. In present times, there is no need to write. At present, only at present. Don't say end result. The end result is this. Result is always at the end. So you should write only the result. Writing essential, it's but obvious that it is absolutely essential. So there is no need to write absolutely. Right? Completely eliminate. I have completely eliminated it. Completely eliminate. Eliminate means eliminate. उसको remove कर दिया गया, उसको खत्म कर दिया गया, eliminate हो गया. So there is no need to write completely. It has been eliminated. Eliminated means it has been completely eliminated. Eliminate करना ही complete से मतलब है. If I say that we have eliminated poverty, so we cannot say that we have eliminated poverty. हमने poverty को खत्म नहीं किया है पूरी तौर से. So elimination word is used when we have removed the thing completely. Now, we often say we have entered into the room. So we should not use into with enter. We have entered the room. Enter means आप बाहर से अंदर आए हैं. So into, there is no need to put into with enter. You use enter when you are going inside, right? So there's no need to use into with enter. Fellow teammate, these are my fellow teammates. Teammates means fellow, right? Final conclusion, this is the final conclusion. Conclusion is always final. So there's no need to put final. Cancel out, we have cancelled out it. अभी out का क्या मतलब होता है? We have cancelled it. In the month of August, there's no need to write in the month of. August is the month, right? So in August, only in August, not in the month of August. So unnecessarily, don't make your writing messy. Try to use minimum words, and through minimum words, try to convey clear, unambiguous, direct, explicit message, right? So these are the redundancies or redundant words, repetition, repetitive words, right? Then try not to use wordy phrases. Try not to use wordy phrases. For example, instead of saying that try to make an adjustment, try to make an adjustment with him. So you can say adjust with him, try to adjust with him, try to make an adjustment between these two components. So try to make an adjustment between these two components. Instead of saying this, you should say adjust these two components. Adjust these two components. उसका मतलब भी यही है कि try to make an adjustment between the two components. Adjust these two components. Make a decision. Try to make a decision. Decide. Decide. Try to decide. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Which research you want to pursue? Provide assistance. He's providing assistance to me. He's assisting me. He is assisting me. So don't say he's providing assistance. He's assisting me. Means the point is that you should use minimum words. Only then you will be able to strike this conciseness in your writing. All right, so try to use minimum words in order to have your document as concise as possible. At the present time, you can say now. Instead of at the present time, you can say now. Due to the fact that, because use kar sakte hain aap iski jagah. So these are a number of examples given here, right? So you can have a look at them. All right. So this is about conciseness. Now preciseness. Then preciseness. Now, being precise in writing always avoids ambiguity and ensures the correct delivery of the intended message sent to your reader. The quality of precision is unarguably essential to numerous engineering settings where highly technical information is being communicated. Precision of style in writing should meet the following criteria. See, these are the 4 points following which you can have your writing, you can have your technical document as precise as possible. Now, what are these points? First is verifiable sentences. Lack of precision in language at the workplace can lead to numerous misapplications and misinterpretations. Verifiable sentences means if there is no precision in language, if you are not using the appropriate words, sometimes we fall short of words. We don't know which word is to be used here in this situation. And what happens? We use an inappropriate word in that situation. And in that context, whatever it is, if you are writing a technical document or if you are conveying your message orally, whatever the situation, but sometimes we fall short of words. We don't have the exact word to be used there in that situation, in that context. And in that case, what happens? The readers, it is very much likely that the readers may misinterpret that information because you haven't used the appropriate word. आपने appropriate word use नहीं किया है, तो इसलिए आपकी information को misinterpret किया जा सकता है. Right, so there should be precision in your language. You should use appropriate language, appropriate vocabulary. Right? Then specific and meaningful constructions. Phrases used in everyday life are many times not appropriate in the technical style of the document. Right? Words like old or best are meaningless unless a standard of comparison in their respective meanings is established. So, see, these words old and best can be used literally when you are writing any literary piece, any writing in literature, any text of literature. But as far as technical communication is concerned, or as far as writing technical documents are concerned, right, you have to use these words in comparison to the standard. For example, if you are using cold, So there should be some standard to which you are using this cold. How much colder it is than that. How much temperature has fallen. Kitna temperature gir gaya hai. How much temperature has risen. Right? Because this is a technical subject. Here, if you will write simple cold, that it has turned cold, it won't work. It will be meaningless. It won't convey full information to the readers. Right? So you have to make your message very clear. You have to make your message very clear. So that is why it is said that phrases which you normally use in everyday life may become inappropriate, may become meaningless in while writing a technical document. Right? So there should always be a standard of comparison. Right? I hope you have been able to understand what is the meaning of this specific and meaningful construction. Okay? Then objective observation. See, if the exact data is not known, it should be replaced with objective observation. For example, the water began to boil. When making quality determinations like better or best, determine what criterion you are using, and instead of making a subjective statement, share the criterion with your reader. Means it is not literature you are reading or you are writing. It's not literature, it's not English literature or Hindi literature. It's a technical subject. A technical subject hai. So here facts, experiments, results of experiments, they matter. वो matter करता है. Right? So even if you are making a quality determination, even if you are saying that this one is better than that, or this one is the best, then you have to, in literature, it will go. In literature, it will go. If I say that this poet is better than that poet, it will be okay. I'm making a quality determination. It will be okay. Right? But in technical subject, it won't work. You have to cite the criterion on the basis of which you are saying that this substance is better than that one, or this substance is the best. You have to mention that criterion. You have to mention that parameter on the basis of which you have arrived at this conclusion that this one is better, or this one is the best. Right? So this is objective observation. Objective when it is not influenced by your own personal opinion, but you are arriving at the conclusion based on certain parameters and based on certain criterions on the basis of which you have carried out your research. तो ये सब रिसर्च के कंक्लूजन्स के ऊपर बेस्ड है. कौन सा क्राइटेरियन आपने लिया है, कौन सा पैरामीटर यूज किया है, आपका खुद का कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन, खुद का कोई कंक्लूजन नहीं है इसमें. Because you feel that it is better, that is why you are saying that it is better. That will be subjective observation. So in technical communication, you always do objective observation, not influenced by your personal opinion. Okay? Then accurate sentences. Words like prove, guarantee, or certainty communicate finality that rarely exists in science and engineering. You attempt to draw conclusions based on evidence, but it is unlikely that you will ever prove or guarantee the results of your experiment or design. It is always advised to use words that are accurate and still allow for uncertainty. So whenever you are carrying out any research, whenever you are carrying out any even theoretical investigation, you are writing any technical article, and you are writing the conclusion portion or even somewhere in the middle of your text, don't use words like the final conclusion, or the conclusion is this, or it proves this, or means some words, the words which you are using which convey the meaning that it is certain or it is guaranteed it will be the result. So you should not use such words which convey this meaning. Instead of this, because nothing is certain in science. Everyday researches are being going on, and every day results are being changing. So you cannot say that this is the conclusion now. So try to say that it indicates whatever research you have carried out, whatever theoretical investigation you have carried out. In the conclusion, try to write that it indicates, it suggests. So the above discussion suggests the research carried out by me suggests, right? Or reduce or decrease. We try to use these words which convey some sort of uncertainty, right? So so these are certain points following which, considering which, you will be able to make your technical text as precise as possible. Right? So that is preciseness. Preciseness means when there is no confusion. Preciseness means when there is no confusion, you are able to communicate your message clearly. ये कुछ points हैं जिनको आप follow करके अपनी writing को जो है precise बना सकते हैं. Right? So conciseness is when you are using minimum words and you are conveying the maximum information. And I have given you certain tips with the help of which you can avoid making your writing messy, right? So preciseness is accuracy. Preciseness is accuracy, right? So these are the points with the help of which you can make your writing precise and accurate. Precise or accurate. Now direct. Another style, another point in style is direct. Directness. What is this directness? Technical communication should get down to its meaning instantly. The readers intend to know right away what to expect within a fraction of few seconds. They evaluate whether the presented document meets their need or not. So your document, whatever you are writing, or if you are delivering a lecture, your lecture or your text should immediately convey to the readers whether it is, whether it will meet their needs or not, whether it will meet their, or whether it will satisfy their needs or requirements or not, whether it will fulfill their requirements or not. It should be written in such a way, the message should be conveyed in such a way that the readers, within a few fraction of seconds, when they are reading or when they are listening to you, they should be able to make out whether this lecture or whether this document served their needs or not. Right? So this is directness. The effective use of vocabulary can be considered as the most indispensable aspect of technical writing. That I have already explained you, that you should use appropriate words. Otherwise, the readers or the audience may misinterpret your message. The most direct approach advocates for the usage of vocabulary that is right for the situation and doesn't use ornamental or flowery words in an attempt to sound elite or impressive. So this is not the requirement of technical text, that you want to sound elite or impressive, you want to make your language elite or impressive. No, ornamental or flowery. This is not the requirement of a technical text, right? So you should use appropriate vocabulary so that the information may not be misinterpreted, right? Otherwise, it may be like otherwise it is very much likely that your students, or if you are an expert in your field and you are conveying certain important information regarding any research and you have not used the appropriate vocabulary, then it might be possible that your students or the audience who are listening to you may carry that research in the wrong direction because of the inappropriate words used by you. ठीक है, तो words जो होते हैं they should be appropriate to the context. आप कितनी vocabulary होनी चाहिए, right? Then see, if you are writing, if you are using complex sentences here and there, randomly used complex sentences means you are writing complex sentences here and there. So it is very much likely that your message may not be easily comprehended by the readers, or that may make your message ambiguous, confusing. Confuse कर देंगे आपके उसको, confusing बना देंगे आपके message को, right? So try not to use complex sentences that convey more than one message in a single sentence. वही होता है complex sentence. Simple sentence क्या होता है? Which convey one message. Complex sentence which is conveying too many information. That is a complex sentence. So don't write complex sentences. And also don't write complex words. Complex words भी नहीं लिखने की जरूरत है. For example, some examples have been given here. For example, ascertain. Ascertain. If I say I am trying to ascertain, or through this research, I'm trying to ascertain. So instead of ascertain, you can use determine. I'm trying to determine this thing, because ascertain is somewhat difficult. Maybe not all the readers or audience are able to follow it. Terminate, instead of terminate, you can use end. Instead of utilize, you can use. Endeavor, instead of endeavor, you can use try. Of course, while you are writing a paper in English literature, you should use such words like ascertain, terminate, endeavor, right? But not in technical text, not advisable. Herein, instead of herein, you can use here only. Instead of procure, you can use get. It is rendered inoperative, you can use that it has failed. Instead of saying rendered inoperative, you can write that it has failed. So the basic point is that you should not use flowery language while writing a technical text, right? Okay, then well organized. Well organized means your text should be well organized. If you are delivering a lecture, that should be well organized, right? Because otherwise that will affect the comprehension of your message. Means readers आपके message को, या audience आपके message को ढंग से समझ नहीं पाएंगे अगर आपने अपनी information को एक proper तरीके से organize नहीं किया. तो जो readers हैं या जो audience है वो आपके message को समझ नहीं पाएंगे. If you are delivering a lecture दे रहे हैं और कभी तो आप कंक्लूजन का जिक्र कर देते हैं, कभी कोई रिसर्च बीच में ले आते हैं कि फलाने ने ये रिसर्च की थी, है ना, कभी आप मेथोडोलॉजी का जिक्र कर देते हैं, तो क्या होगा? रीडर्स विल गेट कंफ्यूज्ड. सो if you are giving any information, if you are providing any information to the readers, either orally or through a text, that has to be organized properly, that has to be organized in a logical manner, one following the other logically, right? So as a communicator, you need to make sure that any document, email or presentation you create has an intentional, logical and consistent organization. If you want to become a successful communicator, you must first understand the organization of the communication and then project it to your audience. See, it's very easy to write an article, आपने कोई रिसर्च पेपर लिखा है, so it's very easy to write the research paper, but then it is very tiresome when you arrange that information logically, right? It takes a lot of time, be it a technical text or be it a research paper related to literature, but it takes a lot of time. उसमें सारा दिमाग खर्च हो जाता है. It's easy to collect the information, but then it's very tiring to arrange that information. Because all the document, the entire document should look like as one organic whole, in which all the lines, all the paragraphs, all the parts of that text should seem to be logically connected to each other. तो इसमें दिमाग खर्च होता है बहुत ज़्यादा. So your text should be properly organized. So let us discuss some practical ways to make a document well organized. Outlining the document. This is important when writing style becomes a part of the team, because it ensures that each team member has a shared understanding of how each section fits into the larger document. Outlining the document. So first make a proper outline. आपको एक outline बना लेनी है, rough outline. And then try to figure out roughly where these sections means whatever information you have collected. You have collected some information regarding the methodology, regarding discussion, regarding conclusion. So you have to see how these documents fit into this entire piece of text. कहाँ पे अलग-अलग sections को कहाँ fit करोगे? किसको डिस्कशन में फिट करना है, किसको एनालिसिस में फिट करना है, किसको कंक्लूजन में फिट करना है, किसको रिसर्च में फिट करना है, मेथोडोलॉजी में फिट करना है, कैसे फिट करना है, ठीक है? तो फर्स्ट मेक अ रफ आउटलाइन. यूज एन एडवांस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजर. It helps to forecast the content of a document and set your audience's expectations for the structure of that. For example, this report outlines the need for this program and then offers specific evidence to support the proposed plan. In the following sections, we will provide an overview of the experimental methodology, present the findings, analyze. See, इसका तो कोई इतना वो नहीं यूज में नहीं आता है ये एडवांस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजर. बेटर इट इज द कॉमन अप्रोच विच एवरीबडी फॉलोज इज दैट मेक अ रफ आउटलाइन ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट एंड देन फिगर आउट विच सेक्शन फिट्स वेयर. दिस इज द मोस्ट कॉमन अप्रोच विच एवरीबडी फॉलोज. इसी को फॉलो करते हैं एंड दिस इज प्रैक्टिकल ऑल्सो. Divide longer documents with headings and subheadings. Yes, this you can also do. First of all, divide your entire document into headings and subheadings. That first you will give the introduction. First you will give the objective. Then you will write the introduction. Then you will write the methodology. Means following which methods you have collected the data. Then you will mention the data. Then the discussion about the data, analysis, and then the conclusion. So this is how you can divide your document into headings and subheadings, right? And if further you want to divide any heading into subheadings, that you can also do depending upon the document. वो भी कर सकते हैं. So then it will be easier for you to organize the information. आपके लिए आसान हो जाएगा information को organize करना. Use transition words and phrases. Yes, you should try to use these transition words and phrases because they help to establish connection between the lines and between the paragraphs. Right? Transition words and phrases like for this, in addition to, moreover, as a result of this, therefore, because, as a consequence, similarly, likewise. So these are the transition words. They establish the continuity between the sentences and between the paragraphs, right? So it is always advisable to use these transition words. Use simple direct sentences to open paragraphs and then support them with more detailed information. Yes, whenever you are beginning a paragraph, new paragraph, to use simple sentences. Always begin a paragraph with a simple sentence and then proceed by providing more detailed information about that statement. Okay? So this is how you should write any technical text. All right, so this is all about style in technical communication. And the question definitely comes on this topic, style in technical communication. आता है इसके ऊपर question. Discuss, the question will come like this: discuss style in technical communication. Then you have to mention all these points: conciseness, preciseness, directness, all these points, whatever we have discussed today. So all these points are needed to be mentioned. Right? Now, get ready for your attendance.